Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling sometimes when you're just looking for something more, a deeper take on things?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of our listeners sent over some really fascinating bits, all centered around Carl Sagan's Cosmos. And they were hoping we could sort of explore what it says about life's meaning, maybe those moments where things just click. Profound realization.
Yeah, that's the mission today. We've got these great excerpts looking at Cosmos, Sagan's life, the impact he had.
Exactly.
And it's definitely not just about the science, is it? It's more about how these big ideas can really, shift how we see ourselves, our existence.
Okay, so let's dive in. Carl Sagan's Cosmos. For so many people, myself included, it wasn't just a book or a show. It felt like an experience.
A really inspiring one. These excerpts really hammer home how it basically ignited this passion for science in a whole generation, the Cosmos generation, they call it.
Yeah.
And what's so effective, I think, is how Sagan managed to weave together the hard science with this genuine sense of human connection. The material mentions his collaboration with Anne Druyan, who he later married, of course, on both the book and the original TV series.
Right.
And her dedication shines through, even now. The new edition she worked on, that cover art showing our link to the cosmos, it just keeps that core message alive.
It really does. And it's interesting, too, the excerpts touch on his first wife, Lynn Margulis.
Oh, yeah, a major scientist in her own right. Her work on mitochondria, you know, the idea that these tiny powerhouses in our cells were once separate organisms, groundbreaking stuff.
Absolutely. It kind of paints a picture of the incredible intellectual energy around Sagan.
Yeah.
But Cosmos, specifically, wow, it just resonated.
And still does, decades after 1980. The pieces point out it appealed way beyond just science, folks. People in humanities loved it, too. That's pretty special.
So why do you think it hit so hard? What was the magic ingredient?
Well, I think it's because Sagan wasn't just, listing facts. He was deliberately trying to spark awe. He was showing us our place, in this incredible cosmic narrative.
And not just on the page.
No, exactly. The 1980 documentary was huge. And then the 2014 reboot with Neil deGrasse Tyson, it keeps that same spirit going. And that story about Tyson meeting Sagan as a kid and how it completely changed his life, set him on his path. That really says something about Sagan's personal power to inspire, doesn't it?
It really does, that personal touch.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into some of those big ideas from Cosmos that speak to, us. The human experience.
Okay.
First off, just the scale of it all. Trying to wrap your head around the universe, 13.8 billion years old.
Yeah.
40 billion light years across. It's mind-boggling.
It really is. It makes you wonder, how do you even begin to find your footing in something that vast?
Yeah.
Sagan himself put it so beautifully in his dedication to Anne Druyan, you remember? In the vastness of space and the immensity of time, it has been a joy to share a planet and an epoch with you.
Wow, that captures it perfectly. The huge scale, but also the intense value of right here, right now.
Yeah.
Human connection.
Exactly. And for you listening, how does that feel? Thinking about that immense timeline and our, relatively brief moment within it.
It definitely gives you pause. And then you think about the number of galaxies. The excerpts say over 100 billion, each with billions of stars.
It makes our sun, our Earth, feel pretty tiny in comparison.
Almost insignificant, maybe. But then there's the pale blue dot.
Ah, yes. That photograph.
What's so powerful about that single image?
Well, it was taken by Voyager 1, way, way out there. Earth is just this tiny speck of light, barely visible. And the excerpts remind us, from that vantage point, all our conflicts, our borders, our divisions, they just vanish. It's this incredibly humbling picture of our shared home, our fragility, our unity, really.
It forces a different perspective, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It makes you think hard about what actually matters.
Totally shifts your focus. And connected to that, there's this other profound idea that we're made of star stuff. Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. It's quite literal, actually. The excerpts explain that the basic building blocks of you, me, everything around us, carbon, oxygen, iron, all that stuff, they weren't around at the very beginning.
Right.
They were forged inside stars over billions of years. And then, when massive stars died in supernova explosions, those elements got scattered across space.
So we are, quite literally, cosmic debris.
In the most beautiful way possible, we have a cosmic origin. And that leads to that incredible thought, which you feel so strongly in Sagan's work. We are a way for the universe to know itself.
We are the universe becoming conscious.
In a sense, yes, we are star stuff, contemplating the stars. How does that feel for you, listening? Does that idea of being so fundamentally connected to the cosmos change how you see yourself?
It adds such a layer of meaning.
Wow.
Okay, and the cosmic calendar is another brilliant tool Sagan used, right? To try and visualize this immense timeline.
It's genius, squeezing 13.8 billion years into just one single calendar year. It really drives home how incredibly recent we are on the scene.
Yeah, the excerpts lay it out. Big Bang on January 1st.
Earth doesn't even form until early September. Dinosaurs arrive around Christmas Day.
And humans.
Yeah.
Homo sapiens.
Literally the last few minutes of New Year's Eve, like 11:52 p.m.
That's stunning.
And modern science. Our ability to even understand all this, that happens in the very, very last second of the year, just the last 400 years or so.
So, in that final tick of the cosmic clock, we figured out so much.
It shows the incredible power and maybe speed of human intellect, doesn't it? What does it suggest to you that our understanding blossoms so quickly in the grand scheme?
It's humbling, definitely. But also kind of amazing. Makes you think about our potential, but also our responsibilities.
Which the excerpts also bring up. Sagan was deeply worried back then about nuclear war.
And now, the climate crisis feels just as urgent, if not more so.
Exactly. And his concerns, they stemmed from this profound sense of responsibility looking at the big picture.
Right.
The excerpts quote him wondering about alien life. If it's just us, seems like an awful waste of space.
That famous line.
Yeah. And it wasn't just about the excitement of maybe finding others, which drove things like the SETI project, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
It was also a reminder.
A stark reminder, I think, of how incredibly precious and maybe unique intelligent life might be, and therefore how absolutely vital it is that we protect this planet, our only known home.
It really puts the focus on stewardship, doesn't it? We have to take care of this place.
Absolutely.
And beyond Cosmos itself, the sources also highlight other figures who kind of embody this spirit of inquiry and pushing boundaries, like Stephen Hawking.
Oh, definitely. What's just staggering about Hawking is his ability to unlock these deep secrets of the universe, black holes, the beginning of time, despite facing such immense physical limitations.
A Brief History of Time. It brought these huge ideas to everyone.
It really did. It showed the sheer power and resilience of the human mind, didn't it? Exploring the cosmos from his wheelchair. What does his story tell you about human potential?
It's incredibly inspiring. And Marie Curie, too. Her work on radioactivity, winning 2 Nobel Prizes.
Unbelievable. A true trailblazer. Her dedication, her courage. It didn't just revolutionize science, it really opened doors for women in STEM fields.
Yeah, her story is just pure determination leading to massive breakthroughs.
A powerful example.
And then you fast forward and you see someone like Elon Musk aiming for Mars, and he actually cites books like Cosmos as inspiration.
Right. It feels like that fundamental drive Sagan talked about to explore, to reach out, to understand our place. It's still very much alive.
That cosmic curiosity.
Exactly. Musk's ambition, whatever you think of the specifics, taps into that deep human longing to, well, connect with our cosmic origins and maybe even find new homes among the stars. It's a continuation of that journey.
Okay, let's shift slightly. The second set of excerpts seems to dig more into the emotional and maybe philosophical side, or our connection to the cosmos.
Yeah, it revisits the Big Bang, galaxy formation, Earth as that pale blue dot.
But then it contrasts that vastness with our everyday lives, our worries, the distractions of technology.
Right. It suggests that maybe when we're struggling, just looking up at the night sky, it can offer something deeper than a quick digital escape, a sense of connection, maybe a feeling that we're not totally alone. It talks about the emotional resonance of just contemplating the stars, especially maybe in moments of love or when sharing dreams with someone. Have you ever felt that pull just looking up?
I think most people have at some point, that sense of awe. The excerpts also mention how ancient cultures were deeply connected to the stars.
Absolutely. They built myths, religions, navigational systems around them, even put stars on their flags. It reflects this kind of innate understanding that we are somehow children of the stars.
Which connects back to the star stuff idea.
Precisely. And this natural curiosity is what kicked off the whole long journey of scientific discovery. The excerpts trace it back to ancient Greece, thinkers like Thales, Pythagoras.
Asking fundamental questions about reality,
Yeah.
about the order of the universe.
Yeah, the very first steps. Though it notes progress kind of stalled partly because of societal views back then, about philosophers not doing manual labor, that kind of thing.
Interesting. Then Alexandria becomes this huge center of learning under Alexander the Great. That library.
Oh, the Library of Alexandria. What a symbol. A treasure trove of human knowledge, the excerpt calls it.
And its loss. A tragedy.
A massive tragedy. The excerpts really emphasize how its destruction, along with the dominance of ideas like Ptolemy's Earth-centered universe, held back scientific progress for centuries. You can feel Sagan's pain about that lost knowledge.
But then eventually the Renaissance of science happens. Kepler, Newton, Halley.
Making these incredible breakthroughs, Kepler figuring out planets move in ellipses, not perfect circles, Newton inventing calculus, figuring out gravity.
Universal gravitation.
Yeah.
And Halley predicting his comet's return.
Yeah, and what's cool is how the excerpt highlights the sheer dedication, even the risks involved. It mentions Newton staring at the sun's reflection, risking his eyesight, just driven by this intense scientific curiosity.
What drives someone to do that?
Passion, the need to know. It's extraordinary.
And this exploration extends outwards, right? The excerpts link space exploration back to understanding Earth better. Venus, for example.
Right. Venus is presented as this stark cautionary tale, a runaway greenhouse effect. It shows what could happen here if we're not careful. A powerful environmental warning.
And Mars.
Mars is fascinating, potential for past life maybe, but ultimately the excerpt quotes Sagan calling it just another place.
Reinforcing the idea that Earth is unique.
Exactly. It underscores how precious our home is and why protecting it has to be our top priority.
Which brings us back again to Sagan thinking about extraterrestrial life setting. It all seems to weave together into this message of responsibility.
Perfectly put. That quote sums it up. We are privileged to be alive, and we owe our existence to the cosmos. We are custodians of the Earth.
Custodians of the Earth. That's powerful.
It captures that deep sense of connection and duty, that we're part of this vast universe, and that gives us a vital role right here. For you listening, what does being a custodian mean in your life?
And the final parts of the excerpts reflect on Sagan himself, his death, his legacy as this incredible teacher. It feels like a fitting end.
It really does. His profound love for Earth, for the universe, and that amazing talent he had for sparking wonder in everyone else, that's his enduring gift, isn't it?
He encouraged us to dream, to ask questions.
And to see ourselves as part of something much, much bigger.
So, wrapping up this deep dive into cosmos and the ideas around it, what are the main takeaways for you? What really stands out?
Well, I think it's that dual perspective, recognizing the almost terrifying scale and wonder of the cosmos, but at the same time, deeply valuing the fragile beauty of this planet of human life.
The vast and the specific.
Yeah, and the incredible power of science, of just asking questions to reveal these amazing truths, and crucially, the responsibility that comes with knowing what we know, with being able to contemplate the universe.
And for our listener who sparked this, finding that sense of meaning.
Exactly. Finding your own connection within that grand cosmic tapestry. Hopefully, exploring the universe through Sagan's perspective offers that sense of perspective, maybe even some peace that you were looking for.
Yeah.
Which leaves us with one final thought for you to carry away. If we really are, as Sagan put it, star stuff contemplating the stars, what does that truly mean for us? What responsibilities and maybe what incredible possibilities does that unlock for our future as individuals and as a species trying to navigate this amazing cosmic ocean?
Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about.